Hey, everybody. I think that we're live. And this is, in some ways, going to be a very sad and lonely show. Um, because guess what? It is just me. We have not had an episode in a little bit. And at the last minute, Ryan had to go to San Francisco, and Clay has an upset tum tum. So we're just gonna be hanging out tonight and talking a little bit about what's coming out at Essen, if there's anything that is exciting, and if there's anything that you should keep your eye on. I might also, I don't know, I've given this link to quite a few people, so people might be jumping in and jumping out throughout the entire process. I've kind of had a couple of people, you know, say that they might be able to stop in, but we're just going to be talking about Essen and then possibly talking about some horror movies too. So, if you do not know, am a horror movie fanatic. I'm a movie fanatic. I love movies. I love cinema because I'm pretentious. Um, but no, I love movies and I really like horror movies, and I've been watching a lot of them recently. But we're going to be talking about Essen. If you are live watching the show on YouTube right now, feel free to jump in to the chat if you have any games that you're excited about Essen. And I mean, we can just have a chat about them. I mean, this is going to be pretty casual, pretty free form. We're just going to be going through and talking about some different games. I actually have the BGG Geek list pulled up in front of me, and I kind of just organized it. I just took everything and I organized it in order of hotness. So I'm just going to kind of start scrolling down. I've made a note of a couple of different things I'm excited about. But other than that, yeah, we're just going to kind of jump into this thing. Number one, and geez, man, this game is getting really, really popular. Hold on, I'm actually doing something for work too at the same time, so you have to bear with me. Like I said, this is casual. We're just hanging out. We're just chilling, everybody. Um, uh, just so Teo, who I cannot pronounce this. I'm so sorry. Teotihuacan, City of Gods. Um, so I actually got a chance to play a full final version of this game at Dice Tower Con, and this is exactly what you would expect the designers of Zolkin to come out with. It is a very clean, very smooth, very intricate Euro system. Like it is like super, super like tight knit, everything kind of flows into one another. It's efficiencies, it's kind of resource management. There's lots of stuff going on in this one, and it's really good. This is probably going to be one of the hottest games of the year for people that are into that Euro game. I don't have any issues with it. I don't. In fact, me and Edward on Heavy Cardboard I wouldn't say we got into it, but I was saying that the reason I wasn't like, oh, super excited about this game is I really liked it, but it didn't have any like super like really wait. Tao to Wicon. That didn't help at all. Thank you, Scott Nelson. That that was zero help. Um I'm gonna try it one more time. So there's no capitals, so I don't know where to put the emphasis in this. Teotihuacan, Teotihuacan, whatever. So the reason I wasn't so hot on this is because it doesn't have like an X factor to it. Like there's nothing that's like super jumping out at me. Like, oh, this is what's really special about this game. This is what makes this game really unique. It's just a lot of mechanisms I've seen before put together in a neat way. in a really tight system, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm kind of just like wanting more out of my games, I guess. Like if a game isn't like a little bit edgy and a little bit weird, I'm less interested in it, I guess. But 834 thumbs, I'll give it a thumb. 835 thumbs to Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan? I can't do that. Let's see. Let's scroll down a little bit. Architects of the West Kingdom. I have not played any of these games. I like the art style that. What's this guy's name? I don't know if I click on his name. He's from New Zealand. I know that. Garp Hill. Shem. That's what it is. Shem. I haven't played any of his games, any of the North Sea things, and now he has this West Kingdom thing. This one actually did look interesting because it looked like the most Euro-y of all of them. Some of them were like a lot less Euro-y than others. But this one is this one's fine, I guess. Maybe it is. I don't know. Somebody let me know. I'm not that interested, honestly. Oh, what's that? Gugong. This I'm just not interested. It looks like a 60-minute Euro game. So I know Tasty Minstrel had their fingers in it, and they do really good midweight Euros. So I'm sure that that's what this is. If I hear it's great, then I might look into it more. And if not, hey, Tim Kaiser, getting all the glory and shout outs for Pipeline on Twitter. He's the shining star of the Pipeline community. Detective, don't care. Everdell, definitely don't care. Chronicles of Crime, don't care. Carpe Diem. So this is the new Feld one, right? I believe Carpe Diem is the new Feld game. I honestly have not cared about a Feld game in many, many, many years. There just hasn't been anything that Feld has done anytime recently. I think the last thing that I thought was even decent was Bora Bora. So, Scott Nelson, what did Edward get right at the end of his stream? Oh, how to pronounce it? Or something else. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, here's a good one. We can stop here and talk about this. Raycolt or Recolt. I will play this, but I have zero hope. And it says right here it's a racing game. What does that even mean? It's a racing game. This is just Joe yells at games, I guess, for right now. But yeah, Uwe, man, give me an expansion to Ora Labora, please, because I don't think you've put out a game that's been good since then. At least your stuff like hasn't gone like whoop like Feld has. Like your stuff has just kind of been like just in this consistent thing. But you're probably selling a lot more of them, so who cares? But yeah, I have zero interest. It's 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes. Feld. Ugh. Let's see here. A new expansion for Terraforming Mars. That game has legs for people, but I have played myself out of it. I really liked my first like 5-6 plays of it. I probably played it like 10 times, and it really started to wane. And I don't think it waned in a way that expansions are going to excite me about it again. I'm just bored with it. Oh, The River by Days of Wonder. No, don't care. Endeavor. Yeah, I do know that Edward's dog was in a game. And I know that because Edward told me that his dog got put in a game before he got put in a game, which is funny to me. Endeavor, Age of Sail. So this was a long out-of-print Euro game. And man, these guys pimped it out. But every picture I've seen of this game, and I'm not trying to like bash, and I work in manufacturing. I don't know who made this game at all, but every picture I see on Twitter, I see the player boards doing this. They're just like curled, like all the way up. They have like these big dual layer player boards, and they're just curled at the edges. And so I'm just kind of, it's whatever. Marco, I have not played Sands of Time. I've heard not great things about it. I'm really interested in Spielworks. And Spielworks puts out games, and they are not all hits. Which is why I love him, because like he's not afraid to put something out there that Uli really likes, and the rest of the world is kind of like eh. Because I think Jason Dinger and Uli are the only people in the world that like Haithabu. I'm pretty sure that is the case. Caverna expansion. Don't care. Demo for Gloomhaven's expansion. A Feast for Odin expansion. Wow. So Ui's just giving expansions to all the games we don't care about, I guess. Is this more Terraforming Mars? Colonies and Prelude. These are different things. Okay. Cool. I guess. Azul stained. Oh, this was the controversial one, right? Like Azul stained glass. Something about Sagrada got really upset. I don't know what the deal is. Finally, we're to something I care about. Ceylon. So Ceylon is probably not going to be great. Like it's probably not, but it's and I wouldn't even say it's unique. I don't know that much about it, but it's like a breath. It looks like a breath of fresh air. I think this is the game that was originally called a nice cup of tea, which was such a better name, which was about like the tea industry and getting it all the way to the other thing. And so I'm interested to try it. There's like little train cards for delivering at the top, and there's a little area where you're kind of flipping tokens and everything like that. So it looks like there's some minutia that you're dealing with, which is good. And that kind of reminds me of like an Albin VR game where you're like trying to manipulate all of the minutia of the game to kind of coalesce into like exploding things. And so if I don't know if that's how it plays, I'm making this up. I'm just spewing out of the mouth stuff that is not true. But definitely interested in giving this one a try. Scott Nelson says Endeavor was met after 2 plays 10 years ago. What's a brand new edition, man? I mean, maybe they tweaked some things. Maybe they made it less meh, right? Maybe. You don't know. You can buy this says English. Oh, so you can buy probably a still misprinted copy of Arboretum. Gentis Deluxe, if you want Stefan Riesthouse's not best game, that's available. Okay, here's one that's cool. Blackout Hong Kong, Alexander Pfister. Granted, I cooled real fast. On what was it called? Great Western Trail. Like I played it like 5 times and I was like, oh, this is neat. And then like my 6th play, I started the game and I said, I'm going to go Cowboys this game. And instantly it clicked with me. I was like, oh, this is the game where you just kind of choose a thing and try to do that thing better than other people do their things. Not into it from that point forward. Mombasa's fine, but I can't remember the last time I played it or wanted to play it. It's just fine. So maybe Blackout Hong Kong will be unique and different. It says 150 minutes. What is that? 2.5 hours maximum play. So decent medium weight Euro, kind of meaty Euro. Press show all. Yeah, that's my cat. I have a black cat whose name is Sarah, and I have a calico whose name is Ripley. Both named after badass female heroines in sci-fi franchises. So I don't know what we're going to name the next one, but or we're not going to get another cat, but still. What is Clay bringing to Spiel? I know that Clay, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not. Well, I know Clay is definitely going to have demos of Pipeline. He's announced that, which will be launching on Kickstarter shortly after Spiel, November 6th. He's announced that already. He will also have a ton, and I mean a ton, of the estates. There's a lot of the estates that's going to be out at Essen. I am very interested to hear back from him because when he told me how many he wanted Panda to ship directly to Spiel, I was like, really? I was like, And I told him, I was like, you're shipping more of the estates than like Jamie Stegmeyer shipping like the new expansion for Scythe. I was like, that's insane. Man, this page is unresponsive. I guess I'll wait and see if anybody has anything to say in the chat. Doesn't look like I have any questions. Pax Emancipation. I haven't played it yet. I've had it for a couple weeks now, and I have not yet played it. Very excited about it though. The rule book is just it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to get through that game. So, do we have more? Oh, I got more. All right. Dinosaur Island. Santa Maria, American Kingdom. So this is an expansion to Santa Maria, which I thought was not a great game. I thought it was boring. So there's that. Okay, here's one. Holding On, The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr. This looks like a weird one. This looks like a really, really weird, oddball left field game. And that excites me. That really excites me. I don't know what to expect with this, but I'm getting it and I'm playing it. And it might be terrible. It might completely not be my thing, but it is such a weird premise that I am so interested in it. So basically the idea is it's kind of like more of an experience game than a game, but you get this guy who comes to you in a coma and you're trying to like wake him up out of his coma, but there's like subconscious elements. I don't know, whatever. Really cool premise for a game, and I wish we could see more games like this, like just with a weird premise. My number one most anticipated game, Underwater Cities. Me and Tom Vassell syncing up this year, man. We are on Team Underwater Cities. Vladimir Suchi is an amazing designer, underrated, one of the most underrated designers there is, and this game looks good. Everything about it looks good. I'm excited for it. You should be excited for it too. So definitely check that out. Oh man, Railroad Inc. Keyflow. Don't care about Keyflow. Sorry. Nope, no interest. I'll play it if someone in my group ever gets it, but I just so little love these days for Richard Breeze. So little love. Cerebria, I've heard, is just weird and probably not my style of game anyway, but who knows. There's an expansion to Great Western Trail. Don't care about that. Guys, you're not getting anything out of me. We're just going to go through it and just not have anything nice to say. CO2, The Second Chance. Vito Lacerda's most different game. It's not a bad game. It's just different. I would definitely say that if you like Vito Lacerda games, it does not stand to reason that you will also like CO2. Like, I think if you like one Vito Lacerda game, you can pretty much enjoy all of them, but CO2 kind of stands off to the side. So, yeah, CO2. Second Chance. It's not going to match up. Did Stronghold put this out? I didn't know they still had the rights to that. I thought this was going through someone else. Interesting. Okay. Demo Isle of Skye expansion. Don't care. Even though Isle of Skye is a thing. Magnastorm. Here we go. I don't know much about Magnastorm, but I know it's a big Euro game from the guys that did Terra Mystica. And that alone excites me. In fact, I don't know. I know it's from Feuerland Spiel, but is this actually from the guys that designed Terra Mystica? It is not. It is not designed by the guys that did Terra Mystica. It is just in the heavy game line of Feuerland Spiel. So don't know what to expect here. Scott Nelson says CO2 is the only one he kept except for Venus. Well, that's because Venus is the best one. But I think Kanban is great as well. And I don't have any problems with the Gallerist. I like the Gallerist quite a bit. I think it's a unique game. It's really cool. Moving through. Okay, people are saying Futuretopia is Friedman Freeze returning to possibly heavier stuff. I don't see that happening. Hey guys, do you remember when I said that this was like super casual? Guess what? It is super casual because I forgot to get myself a bottle of water. And I'm really thirsty, so I'm gonna go get myself a bottle of water. But I have cordless headphones, so I can keep talking to you while I get my bottle of water. So there's no dead air, so I don't even need to edit this out. So I'll just pour myself a nice big bottle of cold water and make my way back over to the computer. Oh, all of you viewers are like, what on earth is going on? I'm not going to edit this out of the audio either. I'm going to leave that completely in. I don't edit audio anymore. I just upload it. Oh, nice. That's better. Whew, okay. Oh, here's something. Okay, so here's something I'm very curious about. The Sagas of Noggin the Nog, which I know is based on something, but my God, that is a terrible name for a game. Like I know there's it's an IP-ish thing, but man, that is just bad. That's interesting. It's 120 to 150 minutes, but it's listed as 8+. 8+ for a 2-hour, 2.5-hour Euro game. I don't know many 8-year-olds that will stand that. But hey, more power to you. Don't know anything about it. I am excited to try it though. I hope somebody in my group gets it. I might pick up a copy actually because it looks weird. And if it's weird, I'm much more likely to play your game. I keep seeing the brass things, and I don't know that those are exciting because people have had those for a while, like since around Gen Con. So I don't know anybody that's like super jazzed because brass will be at Essen. I will say, I don't know who Z-Man paid, but Coinbria has been on like the Origins list, the Gen Con list, and the Essen list. And I'm like I saw it on the Essen list. I was like, how is that game still like coming out at Essen? Like that game got released like in February or something. I don't know. Here we go. Okay, some back-to-back winners. The Estates. The Estates is Capstone's reprint of Noah Heimet. Just got delivered on Kickstarter. So Clay's first Kickstarter delivered on time. Pew, pew, pew. Good job, Clay. On top of stuff. But it is beautiful. It is amazing. If you have not played Noah Heimet, don't know anything about it, this is the best game that's coming out of Essen because this is my number 4 game of all time. This game is fantastic. It is so good. I cannot recommend The Estates highly enough. It is fantastic. Captains of the Gulf by Spielworks. So Jason Dinger is a man among men. Jason Dinger is just a fantastic person, just to know and to just casually be an acquaintance of. He's a meme factory on social media, so definitely follow him just for the laughs, just for the lulz, man. But Captains of the Gulf is his first. I don't know if it's first design, but it's the first design that he's publishing and putting out there into the wild. I know he is very humbled by that someone's picking up his game. I can totally understand that feeling. But it was picked up by Spielworks, which is a huge honor because Spielworks really curates the games that he puts out. Wooly does not put out stuff that he does not think is great. And so I am super excited about Captains of the Gulf. I have this on pre-order. So when my copy comes in, I will be super excited. So that one's super high for me. Very excited. Why? Oh, this is so Spirit Island is on this list because it's the German edition. Okay. Orbis. Nope. Pax Emancipation. We talked about this, dude. I am waiting for someone in my group to learn the rules to this. I sat down one night It was actually the night before I left for Gen Con, and I tried to read through the rule book, and it was a nightmare. Like there was just one paragraph. I took a picture of it and sent it to like my gaming group. And I was like, this is just gobbledygook. Like I was like, I can't even understand the words in this paragraph. It's just like was the most bizarre like phrasing of anything I've ever seen. Those rule books are the densest thing. They are so tough to read, and it's not a science thing. I know Andrew Dennison has like this thing. He always says like, "Oh, it's not that bad for some, a master's in biology or something." And fine, I'm glad you have a master's in biology. It doesn't make the rule books easier to understand. They're still terribly written rule books, like really bad. So I'll put that out there at Andrew Dennison. Let him know I'm talking smack about him. Oh man, lots of stuff coming out that I don't care about. IMIA, I don't know anything about this. Card drafting, hand management, city building, civilization, 90 to 120 minutes. Demo only though. Hey, maybe that'd be good. I mean, those things right there. I'm going to click on this, see what the weight is. What's the weight on this? Because the BGG weight is all that matters in life. Ooh, man, actually, that's high. That's a 3.46 out of 5. Who designed this? Stephen Kalin. First game, first design. Interesting. All right. Keep your nose to the ground on IMIA. See if that's any good, guys. Western Legends. Nope, don't care. Valparaiso. Clay was telling me about this. This looks like Concordia. It just is the cover. It just has a terrible cover, and it looks like it's in like a giant box. Stefan Malls, who designed Edo. Oh, I hated Edo. I did not like Edo. And Rococo. Rococo is great. Rococo is a fantastic game. So good. So Valparaiso, he's only done a couple of other games. One I didn't like, one I did. 45 to 90 minutes. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe that'll be all right. So what else are people excited about in the chat? I'd like to know what you guys are interested in that I might not have heard about. PAX Transhumanity, man, that's going to be a big Kickstarter starting soon. Keep going. Founders of Gloomhaven. Huh. All right. I didn't know that this was, I guess it's releasing at Essen. It released at Gen Con, but sure. Oh, Scott Nelson wants to know where Iberion is. Oh, because you used to see it right here where all of my kind of weird games are. I still got it. It's right here. Iberion. Check out this Scott Nelson's hot game, everybody. You can get it over on the Game Crafter. Scott, I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually put this up for sale not that long ago. Pass on the love. I'm done playing it. I'm probably not gonna play it anymore, but hopefully somebody else can get it at a good price and share the love like I have. Symphony number 9, haven't played it. Mo Ideas, good intentions, not great games, in my opinion. I didn't like Tulip Bubble or Mini Rails. I thought they were both clever and not great. So there's that. Manitoba. Don't know anything about Manitoba. Okay. Not that interested in looking into it further either. Solar City, that doesn't look interesting. An expansion to Altiplano. So I played Altiplano on the Dice Tower cruise, and I really liked it. And I played it again a couple weeks later, and I really liked it. Still haven't picked up a copy. Just haven't. Like, I don't think I liked it enough to be like, oh, if I owned it, I'd play it. It would just be a game that's on my shelf that I don't play. But if anybody has it, I'll happily play it. I have no issues with it. It's just, it is what it is. An expansion for Nussfeared. Oh, why can't we get an expansion for one of the games that I like? I want an expansion to Ort Laboris so bad. Passing Through Petra. I've heard about this one coming out from Renegade. Why are people excited about this? I don't know. Wildlands by Martin Wallace. It's a minis game. Cryptid. I like Cryptid a lot. I like deduction, and this is just a pure deduction game. I don't think of it as a game. I just think of it as a deduction exercise. Love it. Oh my goodness. Quinid. What were you thinking with the cover of Rai? Is Scott Nelson there? Help me out again, man. Raitia? Rayatia? I have no. This is just listen to Joe badly mispronounce things. No idea, but this cover's terrible. No one's gonna buy a game that looks like that just off the shelf in a game store. Sorry, that looks awful. Going through pipeline for demo. This is the most beautiful box in the world. This is easily the most beautiful box that has ever been put out into the market. This is a masterpiece of a box. Ian O'Toole knocked it out of the stinking park with this thing. I am so excited to get my grubby little paws on it. Keep going through. Gorus Maximus, trick-taking game from Inside Up. Inside Up is good people. Really like that company. Komet expansion. I haven't played Komet in a bit. I'm always been more partial to Cyclades, but I have not gotten rid of it yet. But definitely not interested in expansion. I thought the last expansion did more harm than good to the game. I thought the game was perfectly fine without it. Greenland and Neanderthal. All right, so now we'll talk about the Tokyo series. So Tokyo Metro, Tokyo Jaido Honbaiki, and Tokyo Jutaku. Metro, great. Jaido Honbaiki and Jutaku, neat. That's how I describe it. But hot take, guys. I'm going to give you a hot take. Because if you watch a show and you are not getting all three games, shame on you. But also, there is a game that Jordan created. It is in the Jutaku rulebook. It is called Izakaya. And it is a stock market manipulation game. And it is so good. It is probably my favorite filler I've played in a while. Me and my group knocked out in about 20 minutes, and it is a wonderful, wonderful auction. It's not really set collection. It's a auction, city building, stock management, manipulation game. It's great. It really is. There's some tough decisions in that game. So Izakaya, game you get by mixing all three of the first Tokyo series games together. Highly recommend it. All right. 18 Lilliput. Oh, that Kickstarter should be coming in pretty soon. Yeah, this looks weird. I'm not going to lie. There's something just oddly disturbing about square 18xx track tiles. So maybe it'll be the best game in the world. I doubt it. It's probably just going to be like, oh, that's neat. And I'll probably get rid of it after that. Not that excited about it. SW is looking at a heavily revamped version. Who's SW? Spielworks. I'm assuming Spielworks is looking at a heavily revamped version of Iberion. Cool. Yeah, that'd be a great fit for Spielworks. I'd be excited to hear about that. And heavily revamped. That'd be great. That game had big glimmers of hope in it. So I really hope that some good development work and some revamp can help that game actually get out, to a wide audience. And if it's Spielworks, I mean, you'll sell 1,000 copies, so that's guaranteed, I think, with Spielworks. I don't think his games have ever not sold out. Oh, right. There's at least 1,000 people excited to try it, whether it's good or bad. Man, I don't care about any of these games. They do not look good. There is a King of Tokyo slash King of New York promo, Anubis. Got to race to that line. Oh, good. Farmers the Moor is out for the new edition of Agricola. Good. This game, not excited about it, but the boldest. That art is on point. It really draws me in. If that was like a comic book or a animated series or something like that, I would be all over it. As a game, who knows? If I hear it's great, I'll seek it out. But not super excited about getting that to my table anytime soon. All right. I think we're just about hitting the end of it. Pulp Detective, Albin VR, he didn't design it, but he launched a studio to publish it. So, hey, let me know if it's good, if anyone out there plays it. Oh, food. Scott, you're going to make me get angry. This is probably a good time to stop and take a look at the things that maybe we haven't gotten to. I'm like down to 62 thumbs. So I'm like getting into like Werewolf Legacy and stuff like that. So I guess all the stuff I'm excited about might be towards the bottom. But I do want to hit on some of the things I am excited about because I did make a little bit of a list. But I thought I'd just scroll through the list one more time and see if anything got released that was worth talking about. Yeah, so I hit most of those. A couple of the things that I am super excited about is Splotter has like a thing that they're like low key hyping, right? They're like really low key. They're like, hey, we are just using this game as a placeholder at our booth, so come by and see what we have. I've heard it's not going to be anything like special. It's not like a brand new big game from them. It's like going to be like another small little thing. That's fine. Maybe they reprinted Beast or Der Arf or something weird like that. So that's whatever. They can do whatever they want for that. So good for them. But they're talking about this food chain magnate expansion, and they call it the catch-up mechanism, which is haha, it's a good pun. But if that's really what it is, I'm not interested in it. And also I personally think Food Chain Magnate is my least favorite of all of the games I've played of theirs, including some of the really bizarre stuff. I just am not a fan of Food Chain Magnate. I played it 3 times recently with really experienced heavy gamers who have played it several times. And the game is a deadlock because it's a race to a certain strategy, and the people that get that strategy end up just fighting each other and winning, and it becomes a $1 war, and that's all it becomes. And there's no way around it. There's no way to stop it. It is just that type of frustrating. And so a Food Chain Magnate expansion, if it kind of like makes the game different enough to like be viable in other ways and worth playing again, sure, I'd be interested in it, but I'm not that excited about it because I'm just not. I've lost all my love for Food Chain. There are some weird Japanese games coming out that look worth checking out. Airship City looks like a neat game. Just the mechanisms that it's mentioning looks like it could be a cool game. Sometimes some stuff comes out of Japan that might surprise you. So keep your eyes on that. It's coming from Analog Lunchbox. And because I'm a sucker for the weird stuff, like the super weird stuff, Itten Games, who are the king of weird, they are the king of weird, has Here Comes the Dog, and that game looks just bananas, and I'm super excited about it, super pumped about it. I'm going to keep scrolling for a little bit and see if there is anything else that I am super pumped about talking about. Expedition Zeta, that could be great, and it could just be a mess, but it is worth checking out because it is such a bizarre idea, and I'm super excited for Ion Game Designs. They're wonderful people over there, Ion Game Designs. Shout out to Bezame. She is one of the like best people in the industry to work with. She is really fantastic. So Ion Game Design is great company. Keep an eye on them. They're partnered with Sierra Madre for all of their upcoming releases as well. So, Pete Mott's, that was fun. I did get a chance to play Pete Mott's. It's just what you want out of a Matt Riddle and Ben Pinchback card game. It is super fun to play and gives you a lot of thoughts and choices. War Chest. I played War Chest. War Chest is cool. It's neat. I'm not running out to buy it, but it's neat. That's weird. Okay. Keep going here. Keep going. Keep going. Ragusa. That's right. Clay's other game that he's releasing. This is the follow-up and successor by the same designer as Kalimala, which I thought was fine. It was just a very lightweight Euro game. So Ragusa is the next one, and if it's a heavier version of that, I'm all in. So that looks exciting. That Kickstarter is launching not too long from now. But yeah, everything else in here, man, there's just not anything going on. So we'll go ahead. There's Airship Cities. Crisis, probably an expansion to that, which I never played. I have a friend, Aaron, who kept messaging me. He's like, Crisis is great. Crisis is great. And then like he messaged me and he was like, Crisis is probably not as great as I said it was. So most people know who Aaron is. Aaron is like the one person who everyone knows in the industry, but like he doesn't really do. He's just kind of like around. He's like a just somebody that is just a connector of people. He's like pulling the puppet strings behind like everything going on in heavy games. I think he just has all the information. Everybody talks to him. He's the guy to know if you want to get something done. Low key hype. So really excited. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for the Essen preview. There's no use scrolling any farther, even though I am, because this is all just junk down here. Alice. Okay. Cat Rescue. Fields of Green. Grand Fair. Nope. None of this looks exciting. Hi, Mills. What's going on, man? All right, cool. Well, this is not going to be a super exciting, a lively back and forth banter as I thought it was going to be. Looks like people were busy tonight and weren't able to jump on here to have a conversation with me. But maybe we'll save our horror movie talk. Well, I'll let some people in the chat. We've got quite a few people watching. So if anybody in the chat would like to hear me drone on for like 30 more minutes about some of the cool horror movies I've been watching, I'll do that. I'll give it a couple more minutes. Turin Market's going to be for sale there. So pick that up because anything Jordan does, anything Jordan puts his name on is just so worth getting. Jordan is the king of quirky. That's what I'm going to start calling him, the king of quirky. That's what he is. Time of Soccer. Boom. Game of the Con right there. Oh, yeah. No one in the chats. I have seen Hereditary. I talked about Hereditary. In fact, Hereditary has been like a thing because I said it was a terrifying movie. Maybe I said it was really scary. I don't know. But I meant like it was the atmosphere of that movie was like in the theater opening night. It was just the pressure, right? Like there was so much just like external pressure to that movie. And me and my friend, who is also a big horror fan, went and saw it together. And we walked out of there and we're like, it's good. Kind of like that ending though, but it was good. We liked it. So I go on there. Ryan Metzler, who is a self-proclaimed scaredy cat, went and saw Hereditary, and he was like, "It's not scary." I was like, "But it's it's tough, right? Like it puts you in a very unsettled mood, right? I think it does the same thing that Mother by Aronofsky did last year. It does that same thing where it's not like scary and it's not a horror movie, but man, it unsettles you. Like it rattles you. And sometimes like that's worse, I think, than just jump scares. Like because like sometimes movies like that rattle people. And Mother messed me up. Like I couldn't like I was like my heart was racing at the end of Mother. That stuff messed me up. That is like all of my pet peeves. Um, all right, so we got some people talking a little bit. So I'll talk a little bit about horror movies. We lost a couple of viewers. I think some people were just like, "Oh, he's done talking about games," so we're logging off. Didn't even want to say anything. That's fine. That's fine, guys. You do you. But yeah, I've been watching a ton of horror movies. I started my horror movie marathon in September this year. One of the first things I did was I watched Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3. Never seen a Hellraiser movie before. I know that's surprising, but I'd never seen a Hellraiser movie before. And man, that first Hellraiser movie is bonkers. Like it is weird. Um, I don't know what year it was made in. It was like either early 80s or the 70s, perhaps. But they made weird movies back then, and they could get away with a lot because that movie is just disturbing. And then Hellraiser 2 was like, okay, let's push the premise. We have more money. We'll build some sets. And Hellraiser 2 is like, it still takes itself really seriously, but it's dumb too. Like Hellraiser 2, it's dumb, but it takes itself really seriously. Hellraiser 3, what the F? That, what happened to that franchise from movie 2 to movie 3? They were like, you know what? What if we had the Key and Spiel the Key and Peele sketch for Gremlins 2, where it's like electricity gremlin and stuff like that. I feel like that actually happened in Hellraiser 3 because somebody's like, what if there was a martini Cenobite? And what if there was like one that shot CDs out of his face or something like that? And then what if there was one that like breathed fire? And I'm like, what is happening to this franchise? I don't know. And I know there's like 8, and I think after number 4, after Hellraiser 4, they were all like straight to DVD. Like they didn't even hit theaters. So, and I've heard that they are just all sorts of bad. So I didn't finish it. Maybe next year I'll actually like get the gumption to watch a bunch of terrible movies, because I have no problem watching terrible horror movies. But man, watching Hellraiser 1, 2, and then 3 was just, I couldn't keep going. I was like, I just got to chill. Speaking of franchises that started great and got really bad, uh, I loved Child's Play growing up. So I watched a lot of horror movies growing up. And I remember watching Child's Play 1, 2, and 3 growing up. And I liked all of them very much. And I rewatched the entire Child's Play franchise in September. And I will definitely say, that those first 2 movies are great. The first one's fantastic. It still holds up. That first one is really good. Number 2 is still a good movie, but it's starting to get like, they're starting to know. Number 3, the writing is on the wall, right? There's like a paintball war where Chucky replaces all the bullets with, spoiler alert, right, for Child's Play 3, but Chucky replaces all the paintballs with real bullets, right? So the kids are shooting each other and killing each other. And he's just like laughing. And I'm just like, so dumb. But I had never actually seen Bride or anything past that. So I watched Bride, Seed, Cult, the other one. I watched all of the other Child's Play movies, and my God, those movies got bad. Like they got so self-aware, so dumb. They were basically like comedies at that point, and I watched them and didn't enjoy it one bit. It was grueling to get through those movies. But you know what I did have fun doing? First day of October, I started binging all the Friday the 13th movies, and I watched all 12, including uh, the Freddy vs. Jason. So I watched just recently straight through every Friday the 13th movie, just marathoned it. Wow. And if you follow me on Twitter, I actually did a one tweet review of each movie, right? Like in each movie, I did a one tweet review. And I do that for a lot of movies, actually. I don't do it as frequently as I want to, but I do every time I get a wild hair. I do a one tweet review of a movie I saw. But I decided to do every single Friday the 13th movie, and I watched all of them. And man, they're all enjoyable. They really are. There is no Friday the 13th movie that I just think is so bad that you can't watch it. Because even Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, that first part where they're on a boat is just really fun. That is a really fun place for Jason to be, is like on like a cruise ship. It's really big, but it's just a giant boat. And it's really fun. Once they get to Manhattan, it loses everything. Like all the steam is out of it. Like they're just on like a cheap set with graffiti, and they're like, "Oh, we're in Manhattan." No. So that's ridiculous. But yeah, I really like Friday the 13th. I really like Jason X too. That's one of my favorites, actually. Okay, so now we'll kind of get away from the franchises, unless anybody has a question about them. And I was kind of I wrote down some of the hot things that I saw this year in the last month or so that I think are so worth checking out if you have not seen them. And I tried to choose some stuff that was a little off the beaten path. So I don't want to just go with like the top ones. Like everyone's seen The Shining. If you like horror movies, you've seen The Shining, right? But I went with some of these that are a bit different. So first off, and this is right now shaping up to be one of my top movies of the year, and that is Summer of '84. Summer of '84 has, and now I'm gonna mess it up because it has the guy that does he was in Mad Men. Raw, it starts with an R. Why can't Rich Summer? That's what it is. Rich Summer is in it, and he's a cop, and it has kids next door, and it's like one of those '80s movies, like they hang out in a treehouse and look at Playboys and ride bikes and play Manhunt at night with flashlights. So like it has all of that like kids on bike Spielberg stuff, but they're like spying on the cop next door, and they think he's a serial killer. So that's what the movie's about, right? It has all those things where they like sneak into his house. So good, so worth watching. Rich Summer kills it. So great in that movie. So definitely check out Summer of '84. That is one of my favorite movies of the year. Moving on, House of the Devil. I think Ty West did this one. Ty West is great. But House of the Devil, oh man, this is a slow burn horror movie. This one is fantastic. It is eerie. It is creepy. It is unsettling. It is a great haunted house movie. Definitely something to watch with all the lights off, at home, by yourself or with your significant other. But man, House of the Devil is good. It is really good, and probably one of the best slow burn horror movies that I have seen in a while. I watched Event Horizon for the first time. And I got to say, this is one that a lot of people hyped really big for me. They're like, "Oh, you haven't seen Event Horizon? You have to see Event Horizon. It's so great. It's The Exorcist in space." It's not. It's not. It's fine, but it's just it is what it is. If you're Event Horizon apologist, at me on Twitter, because the "Are you the babysitter?" Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that was really good. Uh, I know what you're talking about now. That just hit me. That was a really good scene. You did not know what kind of movie you were in for when that scene happened. I agree with you there. Event Horizon it's fine. It's worth watching because it's weird and bonkers, and the set design is really spectacular. But it is not the Exorcist in space, and is definitely not the best horror movie of the '90s. Um, this is one that I think is very controversial, but I loved it. If you have not seen The Sacrament, it might be my favorite found footage movie of all time, because The Sacrament is literally, they get like guys from Vice and they go investigate a cult down in Central America. So a bunch of people move down to Central America and set up a compound, and there's like a religious cult going on in there, and it is, woo, that movie takes some twists, and I mean it ends how you think it would end, but it is a watch and really tough to watch. But yeah, it is interesting. So The Sacrament, fantastic movie. I watched The Mist. I never seen The Mist before. Is The Mist the best Cthulhu movie? I don't know, because it's super Cthulhu, right? And it's a really, really well done movie. For the time, the graphics are really good, but man, this is a really cool movie. Like, really cool. I think this is something you could watch with people that aren't super into horror, because it's scary, but it's not like a horror movie. It's a monster movie. So The Mist is definitely something you should check out. Another one. This is one I really liked, and I reached out to some of my friends that also really like horror, and they weren't so hot on it. And I was like, oh man, I felt a little disappointed, because when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. You're Next. So You're Next starts out as a traditional um, home invasion slasher movie, right? Like people breaking into your house and killing folks, right? That's how the movie starts. But very quickly, they find out that one of the girls that is in the house um, is very adept at taking out fools. So it's good, because she is just, and they don't know what to do, right? They're just expecting something and it to go a certain way, and they don't expect to have to deal with this chick that is like killing people left and right. I really liked Your Next. I think it's one of the better slasher movies out there, because it really kind of like diverts tropes without doing it in a silly way. Like, it doesn't do it in the Scream way. It does it in a, okay, this is the movie I'm watching, and you just kind of roll with it. And I really liked it. Okay, so this next one, I liked it a lot. Eden Lake. So Eden Lake is a real horror movie. And when I say a real horror movie, I mean this is the type of horror movie where this crap could happen. This could happen. So basically, these people go on vacation, and there's a group of teenagers that kind of like smoking drugs, and they're kind of like little thugs and whatever. And they kind of just have this like back and forth, and like they slash the guy's tires. Like there's just like they kind of whatever, but it gets real intense real fast, and you do not wow, this gets really heavy. But definitely check out Eden Lake. It is a thriller. Really fantastic thriller. I have seen Green Room. I watched Green Room earlier this year, and I really like Green Room. That was, man, Patrick Stewart really stretched himself, I think, for that one. But I really thought Green Room was fantastic as well. So good call on that one. Oh, I wrote this down because I didn't know who else was going to be joining me. So I don't think I'm going to really delve too far into this, because this is more something to have a conversation with people that also like horror movies with, but I'll save it for another time. I saw Hellfest. It's garbage. Don't go see it. Train to Busan, or Busan. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm not good at pronouncing things if you can't tell from earlier in this episode. But Train to Busan. Wow, I think that's the best zombie movie. Like, that might be my favorite zombie movie I've ever seen, because that movie is great. It is so good. It is tense. It has great cinematic sequences. Everything about it is fantastic. Train to Busan, definitely check it out. Another one I watched, and I'm surprised I hadn't seen this before, and I don't know if I recommend it or not, but it was super worth the 90 minutes I spent with it. But Tusk by Kevin Smith is bananas. It is really out there. And if you are somebody who can stand like a really good bad movie, I think Tusk is one of the ones that you ought to just sit down with for 90 minutes and spend the time getting into Tusk, because that movie is bad, but it's so worth watching. Um this was a weird one. Shakma. Anyone out there seen Shakma? At me if you have seen Shakma. But basically, Shakma is a group of medical students who blow off steam by LARPing in the hospital. They have like an after hours LARPing group. And a baboon that is injected with anger, rage serum gets loose and starts killing them. Yeah. Oh, man. Somebody gave money to somebody else to get this movie made, right? Like somebody was like, yeah, all right, here's a bunch of money. So that is something that is, oh wow, I can't even explain Shakma. It is ridiculous. It does sound a little bit like I've been watching Best of the Worst. I've been kind of going back and forth. Like I'll do like a really serious horror movie, and then I'll do like a silly slasher movie, and then I'll do like a really serious horror movie, and then I'll do a really serious, silly one. But speaking of going from Shakma, I'll jump into this other one. This might be the last one, unless you guys have some questions. But I watched a really fantastic horror movie called Under the Shadow. This movie's good. It's on Netflix, but it's dubbed, so you're gonna kind of have to deal with that. But it is your typical possession movie, right? Like demon in the house kind of thing. But it's in post-war Iran, right? And bombs and stuff going off all the time. People have to take shelter in the middle of the night, that kind of thing. They live in an apartment building. But here's the scene, right? I'm going to tell you about the scene. So right in one of these possession type movies where stuff gets real and they're like, we got to get out of the house, she grabs her daughter and starts running to the door. And she has this moment because she's in her bedclothes and she's like, has this moment where, do I want to stay in the house with whatever is in here? Or is it more dangerous to run out into the streets of Iran as a woman not covered up? And the movie really goes into that really hardcore. But there's that moment where stuff is happening and the woman grabs her daughter and is like, is this a smart decision? And that is great movie making right there. I feel like the whole movie was made just for that scene, but that is some good movie making. Yeah, two big thumbs up for me for Under the Shadow, because that was incredible. Such a good scene. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I was gonna try to have some more people on here to do, because some other people canceled, but it was a super last minute thing, so no biggie. So hopefully we'll be able to get like a real episode out to you guys pretty soon. But I wanted you guys to hear a little bit about some of the Essen stuff that's going on that we might be excited about. But yeah, I mean, you get top 10 Essens from everybody. So this is really just for all of you late night third shifters or over the road truck drivers who really just need to kill 90 minutes, right, of time. And I only went like an hour and 5 minutes, but you just really need to kill some time listening to somebody just ramble on and just enjoying themselves. So that's what this is going to be. I'll get the audio up for this really quickly. And again, I'm not going to edit it at all. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my goodness, the quality's bad, sorry, volunteer to edit this stuff for us. That's fine. We'll do it more regularly. That's one of the main reasons we don't do it regularly, is because I don't want to learn how to be get good at audio editing. So we just do this for fun. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for your comments in the section. Scott, thank you for helping me pronounce words. Big props to you. And I will catch everybody later. Take care. Bye.